Howdy, my name is James, and for my service learning project, I decided to volunteer at Texas A&M's own Howdy Farm. While I was volunteering at Howdy Farm, a couple of things that I did was I picked weeds, which some people think is easy, but picking weeds can actually be hard because you have to distinguish what's a plant and what's a weed. And as well, if you pick a weed that's close to a plant, there's a chance that you might ruin that plant by picking it up with the weed. Another thing that I did was I learned different methods on how to irrigate plants. I transplanted seedlings from a greenhouse into a garden. I also dug holes for future planting, and I helped an intern improve her raised bed. And I learned how to make a raised bed for myself. Another thing that I learned was how to clean produce so that it's ready to be sold at a farmer's market. A reason why I chose to volunteer at Howdy Farm is because when I first transferred to A&M, I took a horticulture 335 class, and I had to volunteer for that class at a farm. Now, I decided that I would volunteer at Howdy Farm, but being that I'm a shy type of person and I'm nervous, I decided not to do that, and I ended up making a B in that class. Now, 2 years later, since I had to volunteer somewhere, I chose to volunteer at Howdy Farm because I know that this would be a challenge for me, and I would develop leadership skills, and I would become more sociable and communicative to other people. Another reason why I decided to volunteer at Howdy Farm is because I enjoy being around plants personally. I grew up learning how to farm plants because that's one of the things that I had to do in order to sustain myself with my family. So a couple of things that were challenging to me when I was volunteering here was one, overall communicating with the people that are there. Now, I'm not a very sociable person when it comes to learning someone's name or meeting new people, but while I was there, I actually took on pretty fast, and I've gained knowledge on how to communicate with people and build relationships. Another thing that was quite challenging for me is that every day that I went there, there was something new to do. And I'm not the type of person to just willy-nilly and just do something. I want to learn how to do that perfectly. I'm that type of person. So learning how to do something perfect, which at a farm doesn't really need to be applied, but it's pretty simple there. Now, something that I learned about myself is that although I'm shy, I am an extrovert, which means that I'm a very sociable person. And I wasn't always like this. I used to be an introvert because I was shy around everyone, and I would try to seclude myself from everyone. Now I enjoy talking to new people. Sometimes I would go up to talk to random people. One way that I showed this personality type was I built a relationship with one of the coworkers there named Jonathan. And how I built this relationship was I talked to him. What was the reason why you wanted to volunteer or work here? And the reason why he told me that is because he enjoyed plants. That's something we had in common. I brought up from my childhood from the fact that I used to go out and pick blackberries and freeze them, put sugar on them, and we grew a relationship from that because we both did that. That's something that I didn't see anyone else doing. Another thing that I learned about myself is that through encouraging the heart, which means after someone does a task, you give them thanks and you tell them thank you for their contributions. Now, Corey, the head guy at Howdy Farm, every day that I volunteered there, he would tell me thank you in the end for my contributions and for helping them with the task at hand. And myself, I left that farm feeling great and awesome because I was able to help them and help the community because the produce that we grow there is for the community. Howdy Farm was the place that I chose for my service portfolio, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue to go and volunteer there. Thank you.